Georges for some of the things we value most, from America itself all the way to Tatooine. George Washington, George Clooney, George Burns, George Jones, George Michael, George Clinton. George Bush, George Bush, George Bush, George Steinbrenner, George Costanza.
I'm the opposite of every guy you've ever met.
King George, King George, King George, King George, King George, and King George. George Lucas, George Stephanopoulos, George Stroumboulopoulos, George Takei, Babe Ruth, or should we say George Herman Babe Ruth, George Brett, George C. Scott, George Foreman, George Patton, George Orwell. See, I have money and property. And finally, Curious George. So that's not even mentioning George Jetson and George Jefferson. So what is the point of this exercise, you ask? Well, nothing but to suggest that the future King of England could be a funkadelic, naughty little monkey power hitter who is strong with the Force. So now that we're through with that, let's turn to some experts